Happy Sunday Fun Day. Welcome everyone to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. I'll be sharing the latest technical analysis as well as breaking news just in, and this is major. Amazon shareholders have submitted a request for the $2.3 trillion company to explore adding Bitcoin to its treasury. Game on. Also, we get the big announcement December 10th in 2 days regarding Microsoft adding Bitcoin to their treasury. Let's freaking go. Also, for the 5th week in a row, Michael Saylor posts a Saylor Bitcoin tracker. Please note, MicroStrategy always buys more Bitcoin the following day, so anticipating a big announcement from Michael Saylor. We'll also be discussing El Salvador's Bitcoin gains, unrealized gains, top 333 million. Shout out Bukele. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin can separate the money from the state. No. Bitcoin does separate the money from the state. Well, here's the latest from David Sachs. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin setting up for the potential pre-Christmas explosion. I'll be sharing some parabolic targets for the fam. And speaking of parabolic Bitcoin price targets, Max Keiser predicts Bitcoin price surge to $2.2 million, up in his initial target of 220,000, a 10x prediction. I'll be breaking this down for you. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, gentlemen and ladies, in today's show. But nonetheless, family, if you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes, then go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications, receive daily premium crypto newsletters every single day, 7 days a week, including Sundays, just like this. Church is in session. I'm your host, JV. It's December 8th, 2024. Bitcoin's kicking off today above 100 G's. Happy days, gentlemen. So much bullishness in the market. I can't wait to share it with you. And JV's been slipping. I just realized the sidebar has all the topics from yesterday's show. So ignore that today. Apparently, I forgot to update it. I'm slipping. I'm falling. I can't get up. Rest in peace, DMX. But anyways, let's kick it off with our market watch as we do each and every day. Check it out. Coin360 will be pulling up here on your screen in a second. I hope. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, Bitcoin kicking off today in the red, but still above 100,000. So once we flip green, price discovery in play. The current all-time high is 104,000. We have XRP up 2% on the day, one of the few actually in the green, alongside AVAX, while Cardano, Tron, BNB, and Ether all correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at 3.68 trillion. The current Bitcoin market cap is on the cusp of reclaiming 2 trillion, which most likely will probably be today. That's the current all-time high as well. And yeah, it's just beautiful seeing Bitcoin in the six-figure territory. We have 150 billion of volume past 24 hours. The Bitcoin dominance is 53.9%. Ether dominance 13.1%. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, DYDX up 7%. Mantle up 7%, and Mantra up 7%. But anyways, let me know which alt, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles. We get a visual perspective on the day. It's safe to say the majority of the alts are currently correcting and in the red, handful in the green. Zooming out on the month, and we flip that script. The majority of the market pumping like a mofo. Peanut coin, for Christ's sake. Rest in peace, Peanut the squirrel. Up 1,488%. Holy shit, coin craziness here. It's pretty wild, but many of the alts, as you can see, up several 100% on the month. So you already know. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're back in extreme greed, rated a 79 on the day. Yesterday a 75, last week an 81, and last month a 75 in greed. And checking out the time chain calendar, there's currently 176,167 blocks until the next halving in 2028. We're currently on block number 873,833, and you can currently exchange one US monopoly dollar for 1,002 sats. So stack them sats and let's go. But yeah, let's continue, shall we? I'm actually going to go here. We're just going to go right to the live charts today. So, and I'll share with you any targets. This is the 1 hour. We do have a bear target on the 1 hour chart at 88. So that's a potential bear scenario. Zooming out from the 1 hour, we're going to scroll down to the 4 hour. And FYI, this is live right now. Where are the charts coming from? This is tradingview.com. This is the Coinbase chart. We use Coinbase because it's the #1 exchange in the United States. I know many of you use the Coinbase exchange as well. But we do have a triangle formation. We do have a bull target on the 4 hour sitting at 108,000. It's a bullish pennant. So let's freaking go. 4 hour chart looking pretty bullish. Zooming out. we'll check out the 1 day. And again, 104 is the current price discovery. It's the current all-time high we achieved. And this is the daily chart. You can see we do have some bullish momentum, which is nice. We had a green candle yesterday. Hopefully we form another green candle leading into the new week here for tomorrow, Monday, December 9th. And zooming out from the daily, we scope out the weekly. We still have the sexy cup and handle target in play, as you can see in the reddish pink. That's sitting at 124,000. And we did recently have the highest monthly close ever for Moonvember, and we just recently had the highest weekly close ever. And I think today we're going to get the highest weekly close yet again, above 100,000. We're currently sitting above 100,000, and we get a close, I think, around 7 p.m. Eastern here today. So in a few hours. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 of the 6 most recent weeks for the closes have been in the green. So let's continue the bullish momentum here in Q4 and set the stage. Let's set a precedent for 2025. New all-time high, day after day, like it's Groundhog Day in this piece. Just saying. But I also want to share some breaking big news. But first, let's take a quick look at the monthly chart as well. I like to take a broad perspective. Here you see that massive Moonvember green candle close, and you can see December is already forming a nice green Godzilla candle. Let's freaking go. And here's for the breaking news. Let me flip out the scenery here so you can see cleaner for the breaking news. Yeah, this is massive. I just saw this come in literally an hour ago. Dennis Porter wrote, you should be able to see on your screen. I'm just going to read it to you. Amazon shareholders have submitted a request for the $2.3 trillion company to explore adding Bitcoin to its treasury. This is game theory playing out in real time. As you know, Microsoft board of directors were pitched Bitcoin for their treasury twice by Michael Saylor himself. And it says here, this is according to Amazon, shareholders request that the board conduct an assessment to determine if adding Bitcoin to the company's treasury is the best long-term interest of shareholders. I'll just answer that question for you guys right here. Yes, it's the best in the best interest of the shareholders if their best interest is profits, because Bitcoin goes up forever, Laura. So this is major. One of the largest companies in the world. What if they were to start accepting Bitcoin payments as well? Putting the old school payment rails out of business that are charging probably customers 2-3%, right? With Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the settlement. So that, my friend, is the game changer. So let's go, Amazon. That's big news right there, gentlemen. And in other news, for the 5th week in a row, Michael Saylor posts the Saylor Bitcoin tracker. MicroStrategy always announces buying more Bitcoin the very next day. So I'm anticipating yet another Bitcoin purchase announcement from the Giga Chad himself, Michael Saylor. So pretty exciting times, family. Couldn't be more bullish right now. We're sitting pretty. So congratulations, my diamond hands and laser eyes. Let's go. Chicks dig the green candles. The bitty baddies absolutely love the green candles, if you feel what I'm saying. Next headline, 100,000 Bitcoin price from cypherpunk dream to financial mainstream. That's right. Once dismissed as a fringe asset of cypherpunks and tech enthusiasts, Bitcoin has climbed through the milestone after milestone. Let's not forget, gentlemen, we went from $1 in 2011 to $1,000 in 2013, and now the coveted six-figure mark in 2024. Bitcoin's latest ascent speaks to its evolution from a curious experiment to a legitimate global financial asset. Just like that. That's right. The journey to 100,000 was far from a field of green candles. In fact, it took 16 years from the date of the Genesis block. Now, here's what's wild to fathom, gentlemen. It took 16 years to go from zero to where we're at today. 2 trillion market cap. $100,000 Bitcoin price. We may go from $100,000 to $200,000 Bitcoin within the next 30, 60 days. Anything is possible. We may go from a 2 trillion market cap that took 16 years to 4 trillion in a few months. It just goes to show you the exponential growth of the bitty. But quoting Miko, some analysts here, we have 2 or 3 good years to prove that crypto can change the world for the better. This is the final chance. And this time we have the tailwind. That's right. The last 10 years have been pure speculation. Now is the time to go from speculation to real world utility. This latest bull run stands out due to some of the key differences. Bitcoin today is just not another speculative asset. It's widely viewed as a safe haven, a hedge against the inflation, and a recognized asset class with growing institutional base. That's right. Quoting Senator Cynthia Lummis, we are going to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve right here in the United States. Let's go. Spot-based ETFs in major economies such as the US and Hong Kong have made it more accessible than ever. As we know, over $50 billion in ETF volume. BlackRock now has over 500,000 of the biddies, and they achieved it in 11 months, which is mind-boggling, unprecedented. It took the gold ETF, which has been around for 19 years, to achieve what it has. Bitcoin already surpassed it in 11 months. So take that, Peter Shifty. So Bitcoin's journey to 100,000 has been anything but linear. As we all know, it's been a path marked by wild price swings, market crashes, and at times existential doubt. I think the mainstream media announced Bitcoin dead probably 1,000 times. And amongst its most notable near-death experience was after Bitcoin hit $1,000 back in 2013 before tumbling to $200 in 2014. The collapse of the Mt. Gox, the world's largest Bitcoin exchange at the time, loomed large over that period, and its creditor payouts are still news today, a decade later. And in December of 2017, Bitcoin reached new heights of almost 20,000 back in December of 2017. How many of you were around then? Let me know. And then buoyed by the ICO boom. However, a regulatory crackdown soon followed with the war on crypto, thanks to the regulators. But nonetheless, Bitcoin did correct down to 3,200 from literally 20,000 before climbing to where we are today. So it's been a hell of a journey, to say the least. Bitcoin's next major resurgence came in 2021, reaching 63,000 as the institutions and high-profile firms such as Elon's Tesla added fuel to the rally. You can see Tesla announcing here, Tesla now holds $1 billion worth of the biddy. And then we know the crackdown in China didn't help. But thank you, China, for allowing us to stack more of the cheap biddies. Now, what's propelling us now for factors like the ETF accessibility, corporate buy-ins, and growing allocations from institutions across the globe, Hong Kong-based market analyst Justin Antheon shared. The shift away from the dollar and the BRICS economies also adds a layer of intrigue, positioning Bitcoin as a potential hedge in a world reassessing the role of traditional reserve currency. So what does it mean for Bitcoin at $100,000? Well, this analyst says over the past year, the rise has been largely driven by the sophisticated players. We have seen the corporate treasuries, mainly MicroStrategy, ETFs pop up, and even pension funds starting to allocate into the biddy, all with limited fanfare. Retail investors have yet to pile in. That's right. Consider this. Previous cycle was driven primarily off of the retail. Retail haven't even joined the party yet. They like to buy at the top. Maybe they join the party at 150 or 250. We shall soon see. But there's no question, gentlemen, the institutional FOMO has been driving this particular rally since BlackRock adopted or made the announcement of adopting the ETF. And now, since Trump was elected president for the United States of America, we've been doing nothing but pumping, which has been a beautiful thing. And now we're all eyes on adopting a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States of America as the game theory continues to play out. But anyways, El Salvador's Bitcoin gains top $333 million. Shout out Salvador and President Bukele, highlighting the country's unrealized gains from the Bitcoin investments after surpassing 100,000 for the biddy. On December 5th, Bitcoin reached 100,000 for the first. It was actually on the 4th, but whatever. That same day, Autism Capital also asked Bukele to share El Salvador's Bitcoin portfolio to dunk on the haters. And here you go. And this was a post from Bukele showing you 603 I believe that's $603.3 million. They're up literally in profit, $333 million, 333. Bukele's latest update shows the country spent nearly $270 million on Bitcoin since the initial adoption. The portfolio shows no Bitcoin has been sold and unrealized gains now exceed $333 million. Let's discuss El Salvador's Bitcoin journey. El Salvador was the first country to adopt the biddy as legal tender. It was September 7, 2021. The country's Bitcoin law came into effect, officially making Bitcoin a currency legally recognized for financial exchanges within El Salvador. Then on September 6th, the government also purchased the first 200 BTC. Since then, El Salvador continued to acquire the biddy. November 17th of 2022, Bukele announced the dollar cost average strategy, committing to buy 1 Bitcoin daily, and the Niji Bukele Tracker, a platform dedicated to the tracking of the country's Bitcoin investments, reports El Salvador holding 6,180 BTC. The tracker estimates the average purchase price is 44,700. Not too shabby. And meaning the country is up 122% based on the current market price. That we call a W. Now, besides the Bitcoin profit, El Salvador reported other benefits since adopting the BIDI. The country's decision to adopt Bitcoin also boosted the terrorism. And despite the country's reported success, the IMF has consistently urged El Salvador to reconsider its Bitcoin policies. That's why I dedicated an entire verse in our Bitcoin El Salvador Revolution track. What would my lyrics say? F the IMF. Virtually in an entire verse, in every line. Now you know why. On January 25th, 2022, the IMF asked El Salvador to stop recognizing Bitcoin as legal tender, citing risks to financial stability despite acknowledging the potential for the increased financial. Since when does the IMF care about any country's well-being? Never. Just pointing out the obvious. October 3rd, the IMF renewed its call to El Salvador to scale back its Bitcoin policies. The IMF's communication director, Julie Kozak, recommended narrowing the scope of the country's Bitcoin law and limiting the public sectors. How about you stay out of El Salvador's business, Julie? Take that. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah, 333 million in unrealized gains. That's what's up. Pretty impressive for that small nation, thy savior, El Salvador. We rep in El Salvador. Let's go. Billionaires are the new millionaires. Let me know if any of you guys have been to El Salvador. I will be visiting next month for the Max and Stacy Invitational. Hope to meet Bukele and a lot of the OGs. Our next story, we're going to be discussing David Sachs says Bitcoin can separate money from state. Well, obviously, Bitcoin does separate money from state. And as Max Keiser says, Bitcoin kills the state. Take that. David Sachs was recently appointed by President-elect Trump as his top AI and crypto advisor. That's right. Let me know if you heard of David Sachs. The new crypto czar is not only pro-crypto and a seasoned technologist, but also has hailed Bitcoin as a potential way to separate money from state. Speaking of Pompliano, the former PayPal exec and tech founder praised the BIDI for this ability to hedge against fiat inflation and its censorship resistance properties. Sachs told Pomp that, I call him Pump instead of Pomp, but whatever. The church and the state used to be intrinsically linked and combined. You couldn't think about the two without them being together. Sachs continued. Now we think about them being separate. I think money and state are kind of like that. We can't really think of money without the state. But Bitcoin, it's sort of this sci-fi future where you could maybe have these two things decoupled. Now, the appointment of Sachs as a top advisor to Trump is widely seen as an extremely positive development for the crypto bros. Of course it is. Now, Trump announced the appointment of David Sachs as AI and crypto czar. That was official on December 5th from his social media platform, promising the incoming advisor would help establish a clear regulatory framework for digital assets, quoting Trump here. And again, it's timestamped December 6th, 2024, so literally 2 days ago. I am pleased to announce that David Sachs will be the White House AI and crypto czar. It's an important role. David will guide policy and administration in AI and crypto, two areas critical to the future of American competitiveness. David will focus on making America the clear global leader in both areas. He will safeguard free speech. Let's go. And steer us away from big tech bias and censorship. He will work on a legal framework so that the crypto industry has the clarity it has been asking for so it can thrive in the U.S. David will also lead the Presidential Council of Advisors for Science and Technology. So obviously, Trump has a lot of faith in this guy to lead not only crypto, but also AI. Sachs is known as a major investor in Solana and revealed he continued to hodl his sole position following the collapse of FTX. The incoming czar also backs crypto investment firm Multicoin Capital and previously predicted Solana would flip Ether in terms of market cap and usage. During the 2021 appearance on the All-In Pod, he said, there's a lot of people, I'd say, smart money in the Silicon Valley who are betting on a flippening where Solana could ultimately overtake Ether as the preferred platform. Let me know if you think that'll ever happen. Obviously, Ether is the second largest crypto market cap. Solana's probably not too far away. Sachs' appointment follows the nomination for the pro-crypto hedge fund manager, Scott Bessent, as Treasury Secretary. Bessent previously characterized crypto as a form of freedom and told the media that the crypto economy is here to stay. Can't say the same about the current chairman of the SEC. Now go home, Gary, and get your shine box. There's a new chairman in town, and his name's Nip. How do you like that? The separation of the church and state was necessary. Now separation of money and state. Facts. We need to separate everything from the state. Can we do that already? Healthcare, health in general needs to be separated from the state. We need to separate the science from the state. The science is corrupt. It's pseudoscience. They need to redefine Fauci in the dictionary. When you pull up Fauci, it just says pseudoscience. How about that? You know what I mean? Next story of the day. Here we go. Bitcoin setting up for a potential pre-Christmas explosion. Can you say pre-Christmas explosion? Like a Trojan. Let's get it. Dave the Wave, he shared on X. Bitcoin's in an ascending channel with an upward target of 112 G's, baby. Current all-time high sitting at 104. Price discovery, fam. And he says we'll hit it at around December 25th. That's Christmas Day, broskies. A pre-Xmas Day rally. I don't know why he says pre-Christmas. Isn't December 25th Christmas? I think Christmas Eve would mean pre-Christmas, but I digress. It's whatever. Zooming out on the weekly, Dave suggests the Bitcoin is also trading within a longer-term ascending channel, similar to the 2021 bull market. The trader's channel suggests, now we're talking. Bitcoin could be headed somewhere between 180 Gs and 220,000. Max Keiser's old target, which was just replaced by a 2.2 million target, we'll dive into as our next feature story of the day. Stay tuned, broskies. Sometime in the first half of 2025. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Now, Dave the Wave, also bullish on the alts, notes the Bitcoin dominance, measures how much of the digital asset market belongs to the biddy, appears to be ready to break, implying a jump in the alts. The trader's chart suggests the Bitcoin dominance has fallen out of a bearish ascending wedge while also hitting the diagonal resistance level at around 50%, 57%, be more accurate. Bitcoin dominance, quarter of the way there. Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet, gentlemen. And according to the trader, Bitcoin moves in a 4-year cycle. Of course. Thank you, Captain Obvious JV. If Bitcoin were to mirror the past price action, the parabolic move remains on the horizon. One positive, if the Bitcoin price does correct, is that it has, as yet, not gone parabolic, remaining in a technical upward channel. That's all I'm saying. You ain't seen nothing yet. Pretty little bitty going up. And we'll leave it at that. Now it's time for our feature story of the day. Max Keiser predicts Bitcoin price surge to $2.2 million due to the global gold market shift. In fact, the high priest himself upped his target by a factor of 10 officially as of yesterday. So as of now, we can say 2.2 million in play. And it's ironic. I want to point out what's ironic. I recently upped my target, maybe a few days ago, maybe last week, not too long ago. But I upped my bull scenario from 1 million to 1.1 million. And I'll just reiterate my targets and we'll get into the latest from Max. My bear scenario is 250. I know it's extremely bearish, but hence why it's called the bear scenario for this cycle. My base case, because I'm so based, is 420. Of course, 420 for the broskies. Happy 420. And then we have 1.1 million, my new target, in play. Max said straight up, I'm doubling that. 2.2 million, which is ultimately 1.1 millions, which is an 11, 11, 11, 11. So now it's making perfect sense. Holy moly, you can't make this ish up. So let's dive into the latest from the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Keiser, the one and only. So yeah, and I'll share some updates with what he had to say to Peter Schiff today as well. Nothing but goodness here. So yeah, breaking news. Max Keiser says I'm raising my target price for Bitcoin from 220 to 2.2 million. But I got to share the math behind it and why that is. Here's the actual tweet he shared. I'm raising my target price for Bitcoin from 220,000 to $2.2 million. Michael Saylor's speculative attack on the $20 trillion global gold market has a very high probability of success. And MSFT, which I believe is Microsoft, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming that's the ticker, leveraging the 200 trillion global fixed income market to rug pull gold is happening. And in this video, Saylor ultimately lays out America's plan to rug pull the BRICS by adopting Bitcoin and dumping gold, and it's very powerful. And of course, Trump was just putting the heat up the other day as well, discussing, adopting Bitcoin and, versus the BRICS being able to adopt a new currency and all that. So this is what we refer to as game theory, and as Max coined, the global hash war is in play right now, gentlemen. And as you can see in this headline, Max Keiser predicts Bitcoin price surge 2.2 million due to the global gold market shift. This is what's going to go down, and this is what can likely play out. So let's break this baby down. You should be able to see this on your screen. It might be cut off a little. Let me see if I could make it smaller or something. I don't know if it will here. But nonetheless, I'm going to be reading it out loud, so whatever. Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy founder, prominent Bitcoin advocate, recently proposed in an interview with Yahoo Finance that the U.S. should reconsider its approach to reserve assets by replacing gold with Bitcoin. Let's go. According to Saylor, acquiring 20 to 25% of the current Bitcoin supply by the U.S. government would strengthen the country's dominance in the global financial system. He also suggests liquidating gold reserves to fund his purchase, or this purchase, which he believes would destabilize gold's value and create economic challenges for competitors like Russia and China. These nations would likely sell their gold reserves to acquire the biddy. Saylor's ideas align with the increasing discussions within the U.S. government about incorporating Bitcoin as a strategic asset. Reports suggest that Trump's administration is considering forming a crypto advisory council. Of course, it was already announced. However, Saylor's proposal to replace gold with Bitcoin represents a radical departure from traditional reserve practices. His views are supported by MicroStrategy's key or track record as one of the largest corporate hodlers of the Bitcoin, currently over 4,000 biddy on the balance sheet, consistently acquiring Bitcoin as a long-term investment. And in other news, Peter Schiff just shared today, Bitcoin has become a national security threat. It's one thing when private citizens voluntarily waste their own money to buy the Bitcoin, but it crosses the line when they bribe the government officials to squander the public's money buying it. Bitcoin is now public enemy number one. The new Chuck D, eh? Public enemy number one. Max Keiser responded, "You guys didn't believe me when I told you Peter Schiff is a no-coiner. The agony of telling me no thanks when I pitched him Bitcoin at $1. $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000 has broken him. He's become the status cuck he used to hate." Very powerful words coming from the high priest, and spot on. I couldn't agree more. Poor Peter Schiffmeister continues to FUD the biddy, and now he's crying. All it sounds like to me is a baby saying, "Wah." And that's what I'm sticking to there, yo. But let me know your thoughts surrounding Max raising his target from 220 to 2.2 million and the speculative attack with Bitcoin ultimately eating away at gold. And also, it was just announced the other day, Bukele discovered $3 trillion worth of gold reserves unmined in El Salvador, which they're going to start mining. What do you think they're going to do when they mine that gold? They're going to buy Bitcoin. So the smart move, the smart money, anyone who has strategic gold reserves, like many of these countries around the world, move it into Bitcoin. There can only be a few more Nakamotos. And I'm describing a tweet Saylor shared a couple of days ago. He said, there's only going to be a couple of more Satoshi Nakamotos, ultimately meaning there's only a couple of empires or nations that are going to be able to accumulate as much Bitcoin as Satoshi, who collectively has 1.1 million approximately, which will probably never be moved as well. And then everyone's going to be under those couple of superpowers. So we pray America becomes one of those superpowers. And what other country will it be? Will it be Russia? Will it be China? Because it's going to be virtually impossible for the other countries to catch up. But here's the kicker. El Salvador already has the first mover's advantage. They adopted Bitcoin as legal tender back in 2021, 1 year after Saylor did the Saylor put, adopting MicroStrategy as the first publicly traded company to put a biddy on the balance sheet. So let me know, family, and what are your thoughts surrounding some of the bullish targets? 2.2 million in play, according to the high priest of the biddy, Max Keiser. Let me know, family. And what are your thoughts on my 1.1 million target? Now I just feel foolish. I feel super bearish. So who knows? Maybe I up the target again. But at the current moment, my bull scenario is 1.1 million. But I'm not going to lie. Now that Max upped his target and makes mine look like child's play, what is a man to do? Let me know. We might have to channel Satoshi through the Nippinator and see what Satoshi thinks. What are your thoughts, family? Do let me know. And welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to continue with the stream. The show must go on, JV. And so your wish is my command. We're going to strike the gong. We're going to send this mofo where it belongs, above 200 G's already. Let's go. Send her. Fender bender, but first let's send her. And the trumpets are blown.